We just clicked on it. And good morning to you friends on YouTube. We are very happy to open another conversation today and to open a new month. Today there is a new month of Shvat. We shall speak about it. Good morning, Rodrigo. How do you do? Rodrigo?
Hello, good morning, Etsy. I'm fine, thank you. And I'm very happy to be here with you and our friends on Discord and YouTube. Thank you very
Thank you.
much and shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Let's pop into the whiteboard and see what do we have here. There is a painting from a book from the 15th century, and there are two texts, one from Exodus 2 and one from Deuteronomy and Zohar, which tries to connect all of them together. Would you like to read, or would you like to ask a question before we start? Rodrigo, is there something on your mind that you would like to clarify before we start? Any kind of question?
Thank you very much, Etsy. At the moment, I'm ready to follow you, and we decided if we can read the Exodus chapter 2 or Deuteronomy. I'm ready to follow you, Etsy.
So please, you may start.
Okay, Exodus chapter 2.
Yes.
Exodus chapter 2, verse 15.
Yes.
Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well.
Thank you. And now, in the same sequence, can you continue reading Deuteronomy, 5 verses?
Yes, Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1 to 5. These are the words which Moses spoke unto all Israel beyond the Jordan, in the wilderness, in the Arabah, over against Suf, between Paran and Tophel, and Laban, and Hazeroth, and Dizahab. It is 11 days' journey from Horeb unto Kadesh Barnea, by the way of Mount Seir. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spoke unto the children of Israel, according unto all that the Lord had given him in the commandment unto them. After he had smitten Sihon, the king of Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, who dwelt in Astaroth at Edrei, beyond the Jordan, in the land of Moab, took Moses upon him to expound this law, saying,
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, Venus. Shavua Tov. Hi. You have Shalom and Shavua Tov, Rodrigo from Venus. She's
Oh,
here.
thank you very much. Yes,
Hello,
thank you.
Venus. We're very
Shalom,
happy
shalom.
that you. So, which number the text of Deuteronomy mentions twice? In two verses, there is a major number that appears. In verse,
11.
yes, 11. 11. Why do you think that I've chose this text? For what reason? Why?
Oh, oh, it is. I don't have any idea yet. I don't know sincerely, and I can't get the link between Exodus chapter 2 and Deuteronomy 1 yet. I didn't get the link, but I can see the numbers that you mentioned uh, is 11th month, and I don't know why.
We shall start. Thank you. We shall start. Shvat, this evening in 2 hours, a new moon will be born. This is the moon or the month of Shvat. Shvat. This is the name of the month. Shvat. This is the 11th month. 11th, and now you can think, why did I bring those verses which deals with the number 11? This is the 11th month from spring, from the Exodus, basically, from going out of Egypt. And what do we see here in the picture? This is a painting from a book, illustration from a book from the 15th century. What do we see here? Can you, yes?
In the picture?
Yes, yes.
A man with a vessel.
Yes.
In the water. He in fact looks like he's, how can I say, he's not collecting the water, but in fact looked like he was throwing away the water.
Yes, that's correct. Let's say good morning to Joanne. We're very happy that you're joining us today, this morning. I understand that you don't have a microphone today on Discord. You don't have, it's not operating, or you did not receive? 1 second, Joanne, 1 second. I'll try to see what it means is participant. So it seems as to you have a microphone. 1 second, let me check. 1 second. It's not operating. 1 second, Joanne, it cannot. 1 second, okay, Rodrigo and friends, I'll try to operate here. 1 second. One second. Joanne, do you have a microphone now? I clicked something. I tried to open another way for you. Can you operate your microphone? I just try to operate it. Try to enter the voice channel, because I operated here from the server. So maybe Joanne left. I opened a channel for her. If she can come again, maybe she will log in again. Joanne, I opened a channel for you to use voice. I hope you can log into class. I just open it for you. Okay. Yes, בבקשה. Please, s'il vous plaît. Yes. Yes, what is your question?
I just realized maybe the events in Exodus chapter 2 and Deuteronomy chapter 1, they occur at the same moment in the year, the same month and something like that.
Yes. The verse. Yes.
40 years later.
This is interesting. In verse 3, and it came to pass that in the 40th year, in the 11th month, yes, Moshe is starting explaining or creating the Torah. He opens the secrets of the Torah in the 11th month. So we are in the 11th month, the month of Shvat. And in this day, Moshe started explaining or creating the Torah. But I would like us to look into another verse, verse 5. Can you please read in Hebrew? This is very important, the Hebrew of the verse, because you will understand what is the connection between the text, Exodus, and the painting. Can you please read the Hebrew?
Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 5?
Yes, in Hebrew. Very slowly, we have the time. Nothing is burning. It is very important to read the Hebrew. Venus, maybe you can read with us too. Friends on YouTube, please read with us. Please, Rodrigo, start reading very, very slowly. This is very important to understand, just to see the Hebrew. Yes, please read.
Behavior.
Yes.
Hayarden.
Yes.
Bieretz. Moav. Bieretz Moav.
Yes.
Roil Moshe. Etz HaTorah. Hazot Le Omer.
Thank you. Hazot le'emor. Very good. Be'er. Do you recognize this word? Be'er. Rodrigo, in Hebrew? Yes.
Not at the moment. I recognize other words as Torah and Aretz Moav, but
yes.
Be'er.
Be'er.
Sorry, I can't recognize at the moment this word.
The English says expound, explain, or interpreted the Torah. But the three letters which are written in Hebrew are the same letters of which we write the word Be'er, which means well. Well, from which we draw water. So this is Be'er, this one in blue, this is a noun. Be'er, a noun, a source of water. And here we have with the same letters a verb, which means to interpret, to pour the water of the Torah, to create, while explaining the Torah, to create worlds. Because Be'er, those three letters, if we rearrange the letters or we change the order, we get the word bara. Do you know the word bara?
Yes, to create.
To create.
The second word, Bereshit bara.
That's excellent. I see that Joanne is here. Joanne and Felipe. Joanne, can you open your microphone, please, to see if we have a sound?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Excellent. We're very happy that you're here. Rodrigo is here, and Felipe, and Venus, and friends on YouTube. We're very happy that you're here. Now, we notice that the word here in verse 5, Be'er, is a verb, which means to explain, to interpret, to water people with ideas by explaining them the ideas, but it means also to create, bara. And yesterday, do you remember? Did you have the time to listen? Felipe also participated yesterday. Do you remember which three words did we discuss yesterday? Do you remember? Bereshit bara Elohim. Yesterday we learned Zohar. Bereshit. Yes. Yes.
And I am that I am.
Yes, I am that. Yes. Bereshit bara Elohim. Do you remember how did we arrange those words with the spheres?
And I am that I am.
1 second.
Hokmah was the first I am, and it was also Bereshit. And Bina. Hokmah was the first. Oh, there's an echo. I am, and it was also Bereshit. Oh, okay. Can you hear me still?
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly.
You cannot hear clearly. Now, can you?
No, you're breaking up.
Okay. Now, do we have a better connection? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Is it coming well? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
yesterday we learned that those three words that the Bible begins with, Bereshit bara Elohim, are referring to the three spheres. Bereshit, parallel to Chokhmah, to wisdom. Bara,
Yes.
parallel to Bina.
As well as Asher. I am that I am. Yeah.
I am that I am. Very good. And
Asher.
yes, and also Asher from yesterday. Rodrigo, we learned yesterday the relation between the three words Bereshit bara Elohim and Eheye Asher Eheye. While Eheye, the first Eheye is in Chokhmah, the Asher is in Bina, and Eheye here.
Now Elohim, like
What?
Elohim.
Elohim.
One
Yeah.
second. So first, 1 second. I would like us to focus on one thing. 1 second. So, yesterday we learned, because it was like triple and quadruple study yesterday. We learned few layers at the same time. So let's just start with Bereshit bara Elohim. So Bereshit is associated with Chokhmah. Bara is associated with Bina. Bereshit bara Elohim, and Elohim is associated with which sphere?
Dath.
Dat. Now, in this verse that Rodrigo was reading, we were reading that Moshe was interpreting the Torah. Be'er, which also sounds like well. You see? Be'er. This is a verb, but it is also a noun. And when we rearrange the letters, we get the word bara, created. Now, where shall we put the word be'er?
Bina.
Excellent. Did you understand?
Yes.
Joanne and Felipe?
Yes, yeah. Does the 11 number in the scriptures that you are presenting today, does it have to do with the extra sphere of Dath?
Yes. Yes. We're very happy. Yes.
There is a relation between the word bere and bara is associated with bina, and so also bere. Sorry.
Again.
Be'er.
Be'er.
What?
Be'er.
Yes, the word be'er is also associated with bina.
Yes.
As the word bara.
Yes, because in the sphere of understanding, which is beyond time and space, yes, a person who understands something, this is beyond time and space. So understanding is also a creation of things, creating order. Do we understand this kind of reading?
Yes.
So if Moshe was expounding, explaining, creating interpretation of the Torah, in which sphere is he holding?
Na?
Yes. This is why in the book of Zohar, Moshe is called Ra'aya Meheimana. Ra'aya, ro'eh, shepherd, meheimana, ne'eman, a loyal shepherd, because the quality of loyal shepherd is like the quality of mother Bina. Yes, this is Bina. All of those names are associated with Ima, mother, quality of a mother. Ima, mother. And Moses is called Ra'aya Meheimana, like very loyal shepherd. Questions so far before we continue, before we read the Zohar and try to connect to other things? Yes.
I realized that the verse 5 in the Deuteronomy mentions Aretz Moab.
Yes.
And Moab is 49, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
49, yes, is one before the Jubilee.
Excellent. Let's write it down. Be'eretz Moab, in the land of Moab. Moab, in English, this is Moab. Value of
49,
which is in the 777 is 49, and the next is the Jubilee. Now, where is the Jubilee? In which sphere? Bina. Do you see how the Zohar concentrates its thinking? Yovel, Bina, Jubilee. Jubilee with double E. Do I write it right? Or do I have to rearrange my writing?
It's with double E.
Double E at the end?
Yes.
Thank you. So, now we can get how the sages are reading the Torah. He is in the 49th, in the will of Moab, not just Eretz Moab, land of Moab, but the will of Moab, the will of the Father himself, and in this case, the Father is the Spirit. And from this step, spiritual step, he translate, explain, and so create. The way of the Torah in which people can understand. Because the Torah is a tree of life. Not one word of the Torah is literal. And there's a need to explain the Torah because it's not literal. Questions before we continue? Another relations of numbers. You mentioned the 11 in the power of itself, meaning 11 and 11 is 121. Is that correct? 11 in the power of, yes, plus
yes.
1 is 122, and the word be'er, both to explain, to create, and both as well as a noun and a verb. They have in little numbers, the value is 200 resh, but we take it as 2. Aleph is 1 and bet is 2. So we have 2, 1, 2, or in this order. So please pay attention how the coordinates work. Questions? We can see in a very interesting way how the well, or how creation, bara or well, bina, in a way is the root of the 11, which is the da'at, the 11th, so to speak, hovering sphere, because it's empty. It always like gets a new connection all the time, because this is a connection that comes from the infinite, balance itself, and then distribute to the body, and so this is a very interesting thought. Are we ready to read the Zohar? Or we have questions before we read the Zohar?
Can we
Ready.
go back to the painting for a moment?
Yes, sure.
That-
Sure.
Does the water bear represent Bina then? Is that what you were showing?
Yes.
Okay.
The waterman, yes. But before we read the Zohar, Rodrigo, can you please read again Exodus 2:15, because the Zohar expands this verse again?
Yes, it. Exodus chapter 2, verse 15. Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well.
Very good. By a well. By a well, like next to a well. Now, please read the Hebrew and see the difference. Please read the Hebrew very slowly, and we shall meet the word be'er, well, but the description of the well is different. Please read the Hebrew.
Vaishma
Yes.
Pharaoh et Radavar Ze
Yes.
Vaivax Vayakesh
Vayevakesh, Yevakesh, he asked, like from Kushya, from question. He was questioning to kill Moses. Yes, please continue.
Lachog
Yeah.
et Moshe Vaibra Moshe Mipnei Pharaoh Vayeshev
Yes.
Be'eretz Midian Vayeshev al Abir.
Very good. There is one punctuation missing here. This is habe'er. Like this is tzere, like this. Habe'er supposed to be another dot under the bed, not just one, two. Vayeshev ala be'er. He sat on the well, not like in English by the well, which is next to. Al habe'er. Now, before we read the Zohar, a little question. The Hebrew Bible says he sat on the well. What does it mean, allegorically, to sit on the well? If we think that the well is the sphere of Bina, yes, what does it mean to sit on the well allegorically? Felipe?
Does it mean to cover it?
Or
Or to receive what is flowing from it?
Yes. If he is sitting on the well, he is in charge. He has a relation to the well, meaning this is his realm. The well, the creation, the understanding, the love, the quality of being faithful, unconditional love. He was sitting on the well because
Ruth said it well. She says he sits on the source.
Yes. This is it. Are we ready to read the Zohar?
Yes.
So, thank you. We read the Zohar, Zohar Bereshit, Parashat Vayetze, Ma'amar, article, Vayar v'hine be'er basadeh. And he saw, and behold, there is a well in the field. When the name of the article is taken from a parallel scene, which is referring to Jacob when he is running away from his brother Esau. Please try to see the parallel line. This is the name of the article. And he saw, and behold, there is a well in the field. Letter Tzadizayin, Mark 97. במשה לא כתיב וכולי. Now he says, here, 1 second, I have to see YouTube. Second. Rose, you are here. This excellent. I did not see. The well. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of music comes from the well, Rose. 1 second. Yes. There is a tune called The Well, which we used to dwell, that I will post for you later. Thank you, Ruth. במשה לא כתיב, במשה לא כתוב, in Moses it's not written באר, well, but just once. Again, the Zohar opens the text, or the next few verses, saying he just mentioning a fact. When we find the name Moses, whenever we look for the name Moses in the Bible, we shall find only once when the word well, be'er, is mentioned. שכתוב, that it is written, and then here we have a flag, a green flag. This is a quote from the Bible that Rodrigo was reading for us now. וישב בארץ מדיין, and he sat in the land of Midian, וישב על הבאר, and he sat on the well. Literally, I mentioned the Hebrew direct to the English. This is incorrect English, but this is like a symbolic speech. This is why I bring it as it is. וישב על הבאר. Now comes the explanation why Moses sits on the well. והוא משום שמשה, and this is why Moshe was separating himself, withdrawing himself, restricting himself from the house below, from the home below, מן הבית שלמטה. דהיינו, meaning, הנוקבה, מלכות, soon we shall draw the chart. מלכות, הנוקבה, שמחזה ולמטה, דזר אנפין, שהוא רחל, which is רחל, which is called שבע, 7. And he was cleaving. The Hebrew word here is davuk, cleaving, sticking, like in Genesis 2, and a man should cleave to his wife. The word is davuk, and he was cleaving or attached or in connection with the hidden world. Be'alma de'itkasya. Alma de'itkasya is the concealed world. Shehi sod, which is the secret of, this is a description of the Zohar, the spheres above the chest, the upper, and I will explain all of this language soon in the sketch. And Jacob, and now we see a different reading or relation between Jacob and Moses. And Jacob did not withdraw himself from the nukba, malchut, from the chest and down, which is the secret of Rachel, which is the aspect of the revealed world, which is called 7. And this is why in Moses it is written Be'er, well, once. שכתוב, that is written, אחת היא יונתי תמתי. This is a quote from the book of Solomon, Songs of Solomon. Once, אחת. The only one is my dove, my innocent. She is a single to her mother. אחת היא יונתי, my dove, תמתי, my innocent. אחת היא לאימה. She is the only one or for her mother. Because the concealed world comes or descends from Ima. Ima is the mother, Bina. And it is one to the mother, to Ima. And from this, Moses was Baal Habayit, meaning the landlord, meaning that his root was upper from the nukba of below, which is called Bait. ונתעלה למעלה ממנה, and he ascended beyond the Bait, which is the revealed world. ועל כן כתוב במשה, this is why it is written in Moses, וישב על הבאר, and he sat on the well, meaning above the well. Above the well, his spiritual realm is above the well. And within Jacob it is written, וירא והנה באר בשדה, and he saw and behold a well in the field. And it's not written וישב על הבאר, and he sat on the well. Do we understand? I just read it once in very raw reading. Did we get a drift of it? What does this article try to tell us? Did we understand what is the difference between Moses to Jacob in their spiritual height or roots? Did we understand? Who would like to start? Yes, Felipe.
Hello, sorry. Just these last few words, I couldn't get the difference. Vayashev el haber. Why is not written this last sentence? Because for me it's the same sentence as it was before here. Is there any difference? Could you understand my
Yes,
question?
I think
It's the last words you read, you translated, is, and that's why it's not written Vayashev al habar.
in Jacob it's not written Vayeshev al haber, but
Okay.
Venus
Okay.
is asking to read again. I will read again before very good, Venus, at least 3 times. To create a vessel, at least 3 times. To read, to create a vessel, at least 3 times. Especially those texts. Let's start again. In Moses, first of all, Rodrigo was reading that Moses was sitting on the well. This is a fact. Did we understand that? That Moses was sitting on the well, like the well is a chair, and Moses sitting, so to speak, on the well. Do we understand
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yes. Good. So let's start.
Ati, can I make a
Yes.
suggestion?
Yeah,
Just,
sure.
Just for us maybe to be able to grasp it better in English, rather than reading back and forth between, is this Aramaic and
Yeah.
English? Can you just do straight English all at
Okay.
once?
Let's try to
Because
see if
I think with it fragmented, it's hard to
catch,
capture
because
the whole.
it is fragmented because the text itself moves between quoting the verses from the Bible. First, there's a quote, and there's explanation, the logic explanation, and then there is how do you say, he goes to details to explain the explanation on the tree of life. So we have 3 steps or 4, because this is the Hebrew, this is the explanation, comes the tree of life as terms, as how do you say, a sketch in words, and there's also Aramaic. So
Yes.
it's a quadruple, I understand, and I'll try to say. I will say this in English. The name of the article is being cut or quoted from another chapter, not about Moses. The name of the article is being cut from the story of Jacob. In the story of Jacob, he is running from Beersheba, and Parashat Vayetze, מאמר וירא והנה באר בשדה. And the Bible says now about Jacob, and he saw, and behold, there's a well in the field. So let's write it down. In Jacob, what does the Bible say about Jacob? There is a well in the field. This is, how do I spell field?
F-I-E-L-D.
Thank you. This is Jacob. And in Moses, in Jacob it's written, there is a well in the field. And behold, there is a well in the field. In Moses, what Rodrigo was reading, and he said, on the well. On the well. And he said, sat on the well. Again, against or parallel, there is a well in the field. So we have 2 pictures. We have 2 names. Jacob. Upon him, the Torah is writing, there is a well in the field. And he saw, and behold, there is a well in the field. And Moses, the Torah writes about him, he sat on the well. So the sages, they take the word well in both sentences and they zoom in to see in which context those words appear and why. And the why is really interesting explanation. But first, they term one sentence. They term one fact. And I'll go back to the Zohar. In Moses, it's not written well, but only once. Meaning, whenever we search in the Bible for the name Moses, regarding Moses, we shall find only once the well mentioned. Do we understand the fact?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. So now he goes and look into the book of Exodus, and we see Vayashav be'eretz Midian, and he sat in the land of Midian, and he sat on the well. Here, this is, he sat on the well. This is regarding Moses. He sat on the well. This is about Moses. Now comes the explanation why Moses is sitting on the well, like if it was a chair or so. And he says, and this is because Moses withdrew himself from the house which is below. And here starts the explanation of the tree of life. But it is complex, but I'll try to make Venus, did you understand? Venus, did you understand? I'll try to make a sketch and explain it. Moses was sitting on the well. He was sitting on the well. The well is also Alma de Itkasia. The Conceal Itkasia. Please listen to the Aramaic. This is the English. The beginning of English is Aramaic. Itkasia, concealed. Itkasia, concealed. So Moses, his spiritual realm, is the world of concealment. Sfirat Bina, the mother. Here.
Etty,
This
can I add something that's kind of interesting?
Yes.
I looked up the meaning of the word Midian,
Mm-hmm.
and it means plan, art, prudence, cunning, be crafty, reflective, thinker, reflect, and smart.
Mm-hmm.
I find that interesting because it's the sphere of understanding, Bina.
Yes, this is also the value. Rodrigo, remember the value of Midian?
104, 104.
Very good. Which is 1
Four
to
times,
4. Yes.
in 4 times the tetragrammaton.
4 times the tetragrammaton, or 1 to 4 is the hay of Bina is stretched to Daled and Yod on 104. Okay. This is yes. Thank you. So Moses, his spiritual realm. Yes. Venus, what you need as to be explained, please write it down because there's a delay. So please write down what you did not understand and I'll try to open it. So the spiritual realm of Moses was Sfirat Bina, or understanding. This is why the Zohar says that the word well is mentioned only once in regarding to his name, because this is his once, which is concealed. What is the relation between one and concealment? This is a question. What is the relation between one and concealment?
You mentioned before that Aleph is always concealed.
Yes. Aleph is always concealed. Good. So if the word well is mentioned once in regarding to Moses, it means he was cleaving to the concealed world. Do we understand this kind of thinking?
Yes.
Thank you. Rodrigo and Felipe, did you understand?
Yes, I believe that I can get this kind of thinking and the concepts that the Zohar tried to explain to us. It's, of course, hard to get it. How can I say, to get it all the perspective? But I believe that I can understand.
I understand. There's another direction of thinking. Maybe it might help too. Midian comes from midah, measure, or midot, and the seven lower spheres are also called midot, measures. So Bina or Midian is the mother of all measures because the 8 is the mother of the 7s. This is another way of thinking. I'm not sure that if I already speak and it is being accepted or I'm going too far. This is another perspective of Midian. Midian because Ima is also Ama, which is a cubit. And a cubit is a measure. and so on. This is how it is thought. This is how the Zohar is thinking. So in Moses, we find only one mentioning of the well, because all of his life he was cleaving into the concealed world, and the one is always concealed. So from the fact that Torah mentions only once the name well next to his name, it means that he lives in concealment. This is one fact. Did we get it right? Do we understand, first of all, that whenever we speak about Moses, we speak about the concealment. Do we understand that?
Yes.
And something that it comes to me, it's about the fact that Moses will conduct the people in the desert,
Yes.
and he will pull water from the well and from the stone, right, the Even. And it's interesting. It's because he has this quality of he has to be this the one who will provide people with water, and after he will provide with manna, he will intercede for the people. And the fact that he sat on the well for this one time, it's very powerful image, because he in a way he could take the essence of the well, and I mean he sat only once in this well, and he was able to provide for the people. This was I was thinking about.
Yes. Like the well is his wife, so to speak. Yes.
And after you mentioned the wife, and once many times we discussed about the fact that after he gave a letter of I don't know the words, but he was not with Zipporah. He let her go because he was married with the assembly of Israel.
Yes.
In a way.
Yes. This is the
And
Conceal.
yes, and the Zohar is mentioning the Nukva, right?
Yes.
I don't know. We didn't get there yet, but it's
Slowly.
beautiful to think that he's married with this Nukva.
Let's read again. Ruth is right. There's a secret. Yes. Inner cleaving. Yes. Yes, Ruth. Inner cleaving. Let's read again. To read and to understand the Zohar, there's a lot of patience is needed, because it is not, you cannot copy and paste the Zohar. This is not information. It has to do with grace that a person has. If a person has grace, it will come. It's like a cloud that comes to their mind. So it is not copy and paste in English. It will not go. It will not go. We will have to learn to think allegorically, to imagine, to learn Aramaic, to learn Hebrew, to learn the language of spheres and the communications between them, and it is moving all the time, up and down, back and forth. To be able to read, not to mention to penetrate the text, one has to be with a lot of patience, perseverance, and grace, because it is coming. It is coming, but it is written in a way that people cannot read the text and copy it. It is built like this, like the books of Weinreb. You cannot copy paste them. It's not an information board from Wikipedia. It's not. It is so deep and profound, and it doesn't, you cannot go to a car, start the key and goes 200 miles per hour. The text will not let you do it. It is built on grace, everything that we do. So let's see again. I start again. In Moses, it's not written well, but once. That it's written, and there's a quote. Vayeshev be'eretz Midian. And he sat in the land of Midian, or in the will of Midian. We can also think of Midian as the mother of all midot. We have the 7 lower spheres, which is called midot, and measures the 7 days of creation. So the Eretz Midian is the mother of the midot, which is the 8th sphere of Bina. Vayeshev be'eretz Midian, in the will of Midian. Vayeshev ala be'er, and he sat on the well. Now there's an explanation. So far there was a quote. Explanation. Vehu mishum shemoshe nifrash mikol v'chol min habayit shelemata. Why does he sit upon the well in the 8th sphere of Bina? Because he was withdrawing himself from any direction of the house which is below. Meaning the Nukba of Zer Anpin, which is Rachel. Why he sat on the well? Because he was withdrawing himself. We have here the Nukba. The Nukba or Malchut. This is Hey, Malchut, kingdom, or Rachel. You can ask, but Rachel is the wife of Jacob, of course. But the Zohar tells us he withdrew himself from this realm, which is called Bait. He did not find himself in the revealed world, Nigle, which is revealed. He did not find himself in this, so to speak, what the eye can see. He was withdrawing himself from the revealed world. He was withdrawing himself from, so to speak, Rachel. Rachel, in a way, symbolizes the manifested or the revealed, which is also called Sheva. So the manifested. Now we have few names for the manifested. One of them is Rachel, Rachel. Another name for the manifested is Sheva, 7. So he withdrew himself from this world of 7, from the revealed, from the manifested. He withdrew himself. This is why he could sit on the well. And he was cleaving into the concealed world, which is the Nukba. Again, Nukba is a feminine. Nukba, it means feminine. So we have 2 kinds of Nukbot, or 2 kinds of letters Hey. Here it says Nukba. This is the letter Hey. There's the Nukba or the Hey, which belongs to the revealed. This is Hey of Malchut, the revealed. And there is a Nukba here, which is Bina. This is also a Nukba. So he withdrawing from the last Hey of the Tetragrammaton, and he was cleaving to the upper Hey of the Tetragrammaton. Do we understand that?
Yes.
Good. And Jacob. Now comes the parallel picture, because the Zohar says both of them had something with the well, but what is the difference? Because the name of the article is taken from the story of Jacob. Yaakov, and Jacob did not withdraw himself from the Nukba, from the lower Nukba, which is Rachel. He did not withdraw at all. Jacob did not withdraw from the Nukba. Please pay attention also to the names and their appearance in the tree of life. Jacob is here in Tiferet. And here is Rachel, Rachel. He did not withdraw. He did not withdraw from the last day or from Rachel. He did not withdraw. Excuse me. Which is the revealed world, which is called Sheva or 7. So, first of all, Moses withdrew himself from the lower hay, from the revealed world. And he cleaved into the concealed world, to Bina, beyond time and space. But Jacob, not just that he did not withdraw himself, he never left the Nukba or Malchut or Rachel or 7. Because, why? Rodrigo, why he never left the 7? Or Rachel? Why? What is the value of his name? How can... Yes?
182.
182. 1 second, I don't see YouTube. 1 second, YouTube, say hello. I need to see you. The value of Jacob is 182. And how many tetragrammaton do we have in 182?
6. Sorry, 7.
7 tetragrammatons, 7 alephs. Joanne, 1 aleph is also 26, so 7 times aleph. Also we can say Jacob is 7 times aleph. So why, and this is the question, and please try to think like the writers of the Zohar, why Jacob did not withdraw from the 7? Is it even possible? If his name is 7 times tetragrammaton, is it possible from him to withdraw from the 7?
Oh.
Rodrigo, I did not hear.
Oh, he is the 7 times.
He is the 7. How can he is? This is it. He is. How to be a good lawyer, Rodrigo? How can we be a good lawyer?
I don't know it.
We learned the Zohar. Very good lawyer.
Why?
What? So Moses withdrew himself. This is not his realm. We did not check it even yet what is the relation between the value of Moses and the 8. This is something to think of. I did not check it yet with you. But Jacob could not withdraw from the 7, the realm of 7, because this is who he is. He is 7 times being. Do we understand this kind of thinking?
Yes.
Good. Felipe, how do you do with the Zohar?
Eti, there are so many.
Wow, Etty, what?
Eti. I mean, I was thinking about the 7 daughters of Jethro,
Mhm.
and Moses married with Zipporah, Cushite, and after he was released from this marriage.
Yes, that's true. That's true. This is what Venus is. This is interesting. Ruth is asking, can he withdraw only if he has new name? Excellent, Ruth. Excellent. He withdrew. Yes. After his name was Israel, changed to Israel, Israel. Yes. Yes. He withdrew completely. Yes. He did. He did. Rachel died and he went to live with Bilhah's tent, and Reuben come and changed the furniture there, and he withdrew completely from the 7. Yes. Excellent question. Excellent. And the Zohar has a few articles about your question. Oh, thank you. So we learn that Jacob could not withdraw because he is the 7. So there's nothing here that we can say no more unless his name is changed, like Ruth noticed. With the name Israel, he withdrew from the 7. He is an infinite in a way. And the Zohar continues and says, "Ve'al ken b'Moshe katuv be'er." This is why in Moshe we find only once the word be'er, once. And there's a quote from Shir HaShirim, Song of Songs. One is my dove, my innocent, one is for her mother. Because the concealed world, Alma Deit Kassia, comes from mother. And she is one to the mother, meaning one, who is she? The well is one to the mother, like in the Songs of Solomon. And for this reason, Moshe was, so to speak, the landlord, meaning he has the relation of love relation with the upper well of the 8th sphere. This is why it is written in Moses, and he sat on the well, meaning above the well. And in Jacob it's written, and he saw, and there's a well in the field. And it's not written in Jacob, and he sat on the well. He just saw a well. Yeah, this is it.
Eti,
Yes.
and just to reinforce what the Zohar explained to us, Moses sat on a well when he tried to, how can I say, to flee from the face of Pharaoh. So the Pharaoh could represent Egypt could represent this duality, this material room. So when Moses fled from this room, we can reach the well. He can sit on the well on the Midian, the Aretz Midian, and goes to the source, to the Bina. I don't know if it makes sense, but in my
Yes.
mind makes sense.
Yes, Pharaoh, this is good what you say, because Pharaoh also divided into 7. Yes. He is fleeing from the face of Pharaoh, from the face of the 7. Yes.
He's above time and space. And his name is Moshe, right? He's pulled out of the waters. He's above the waters since day one.
Yes. Yes. This like oil, like the oil. The oil is always hovering above the face of the water, because the root of the oil is higher than the root of the water.
See,
Yes.
and another observation, I don't know what we can do with this, but the word Vayashev in Hebrew
Mm-hmm.
and it has the value of 318,
Mm-hmm.
which is the seer, which is the seer.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yes, the conversation. Yeah, very good. Very good, Vayeshev, and he says 318. Yes. Write it.
Yes.
Excellent, Vayeshev. This is a conversation. Questions? Or thoughts? Felipe, Joanne, Venus, Ruth, questions? Thank you, Ruth. Questions? Now, Rodrigo, can you speak what we have learned today? Can you speak it? Do you remember it in your mind to speak it? Do you remember the perspective, the coordinates?
We learn today that the bear is this perspective of Bina, the great mother, the Bara. As yesterday you teach and explain the Shit Bara Elohim is the Bina, and we see that Moses, when he fled from the face of Pharaoh, he sat um, on a well, and this well is the Bina, the room of the creation of the all other seven Sephirots. And then the Zohar showed to us, uh, the Zohar made a parallel with the history of Jacob and the Moses. And, and the Zohar explained that the well appears with the name Moses only once, because Moses, how can I say, he cleaved with this Nukva, but the first Rei, the Nukva, the upper Nukva. So the word well appears just once with the name Moses, and different from Jacob, because Jacob is the seventh, so he has a connection with the Malchut, with the Reshut, because he is 7 times the Tetragrammaton. So the Zohar explained this parallel to us, this difference um, between Jacob and between Moses, and the word well, because Jacob, the word in Hebrew, Vayashev al Habeer, not appears in Jacob, but just in Moses.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Questions that you would like to ask? Joanne, Felipe, questions that you would like to ask? Yes?
Oh, just to thank you, because it's really deep, and I guess that we are achieving to to understand a little better these texts. It's been great, Eti. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Joanne?
I do have a question, but I don't
Yes.
know if it relates.
Please do
I-
ask.
I'm just thinking about Song of Solomon 4:12, where he says, "My sister, my bride, you are a garden locked up, a spring enclosed, a fountain sealed." The fountain sealed reminds me of the well. And I'm just wondering, is this the same, is it the same well in the sense?
So
Or is this referring to Malkut?
this is interesting. There are a few Zohar articles about it. Few is not enough, even decades of Zohar articles about it. Maybe we can start with this tomorrow? With this verse of the
Yeah,
Zohar?
that's why I was hesitant to ask because
It's good. It's
yeah.
good. It is deep learning, and we can start with this tomorrow. It's
Would be
great.
great. Yes, would be great.
Great. Excellent idea. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eti. Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you, Joanne and Felipe and Ruth and Venus and all friends on YouTube. It was a pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you very much and shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, and happy good months to everyone.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Shalom,
Thank you so
shalom.
much. Shalom, shalom.